Hey y'all, so I am back in New York in my studio. Vegas was so much fun. It was great seeing Alex. Thank y'all for watching Pop Roast and all the lives and shit like that. So let's get into this episode. This is the Potomac, episode 8. This is where the fight happens, or at least the first 10 seconds of the fight. So yeah, let's get into it. So this episode opens with basically clips from this particular episode, which includes Michael's infidelity and the start of the fight at the winery. Like, I'm guessing the producers are on one again. They think this is a Shonda Rhimes production. So yeah, we get an unnecessary 1 week earlier. So we open with Candice in the studio with her husband Chris. She's in the booth and she's reworking this song that she sang at her wedding last season. Now, Candice, her voice ain't bad. She could sing, but this song, it sounds like something that you would hear at like as you shopping in a DC flea market. So she's discussing with Chris that, just her and Monique are done. And she's done with like her attitude and how she's been treating her. And then we get a little flashback of, the past 7 episodes of them going back and forth at it. So now we're with Ashley and Michael. And this is the aftermath of when that big headline leaked on the gossip blogs of him cheating on her with some hookers. Michael in this restaurant is beat red. Like, that, he's lying, or he's in some trouble when his whole face is red. So as they're sitting down in the restaurant, we hear from Ashley in the confessional that, yeah, she got the text from the blog from Monique, and she got it from Robin. Now, this is a little bit of hypocrisy on Monique's end, because didn't she say earlier, like last episode, why don't we just stay out of people's marriages? We're not going to talk about rumors, But she definitely sent that article, but not even knowing if it was true or not. Even, with the photographic evidence, she still sent it to Ashley. So what was the problem with Candice doing it even beforehand? And I'll get into that part later. So yeah, we see Ashley talking about the video, and she's like, yeah, I know that underwear from anywhere. So Ashley is very calm, and in her confessional, she's giving us a little play-by-play of what happened. So he met some hoes. There's some hoes in this house. There's some hoes. Sorry, I just felt like saying that. He met some hoes at the casino or strip club or whatever. They basically was pulling a number on him. And yeah, like he asked to take it to the hotel room. They were kissing in the cab. They got to the hotel, and he claims he was passed out drunk. Nothing happened, but he did take her to a hotel room. Now, y'all, come on. Do we think Michael's lying? Hands in the chat of who thinks Michael is clearly lying. Now, unless it was what's the name of that movie? 1 second. Now, unless it was some hustler shit, the movie with J-Lo where they were like knocking out these old, white men and bringing them to the hotel just so they can like swipe their card and shit like that. Maybe that happened, but come on. All it takes is that woman coming forward and saying that, they did something and Ashley's looking stupid again. And now she's going to look extra stupid because she's pregnant again with his second child. So clearly that didn't matter. So now we see Ashley in a restaurant. She's confronting him about the rumor she heard from Candice, saying that like he has a boyfriend on the side. Michael says that isn't true. So he's saying we have our intimacy issues and he's been craving it. And she's like, nigga, what? Like, Ashley is a beautiful woman. So to say you have intimacy issues with her, I just don't get it. Now, Ashley is saying this on camera that, oh yeah, well, we don't have the most traditional marriage. I sometimes, I would see a girl and, I would take her back and, we would do it together, And she says, you know what? I'm not doing that anymore. So it's just me. So you need to let me know now whether we should just break this thing off or do you want this? And Michael, I could just see it's cheaper to keep her. You got your second wife who has, 2 babies now. Like, yeah, it's cheaper to keep her. Because you do hear a little bit of pushback saying, oh man, I think he was enjoying her bringing other women in the situation. Now, I don't know. Like, I'm thinking sometimes Michael has, his little fun on the side too in the gay club, but they don't bring it up, of course. But I'm just surprised in general that they're putting this on camera right now. Now, Ashley sternly tells him point blank, now if I find out anything else, this will be catastrophic for our marriage. And at that point, we have a fourth wall break from Michael saying, you know what, can we cut? Can we cut? Y'all got what y'all want. You see us telling the truth. Can we end this? And we got production coming over saying, well, thank you for sharing. I'm glad you're being honest on a reality show. So yeah, that's where the scene cuts and we get to commercial. So now we open with Monique, and she's in a meeting for her Not for Lazy Moms business. It looks like she's like now doing a podcast for her business, and she's doing her first live show. Now, her team is telling her that she's only sold 20 tickets out of 300. And I gotta say, that is embarrassing, Monique. Like, you're one of the most popular housewives on this franchise. And I'm just like, damn, 300 people? Just 300 people? Like, shit. Like, how much these like, tickets cost, when you're having trouble selling, like, just 300? And then we see that she spent 80 grand on this live show, and she's expecting a return. I don't know, Monique. And we see that the subject of the live podcast coming up is about marriage. And apparently Karen and Candice, of all people, were going to be on the panel. She wanted Karen to be on the podcast because, she's been married to Ray for 20 plus years. And then I'm guessing she wanted Candice on there for since she was a newlywed and haven't had a honeymoon yet. And I think that was some shade on Monique's part, honestly. But I really gotta say, now Monique, do you really expect Candice to help uplift your show and be on the panel when you've been treating her like this all season? I get if it was maybe contractual, but it looks like she was just doing this out of favor for you. But the way y'all been going back and forth, I would bow out too. Now we end this scene on she's hoping that Candice will still do her show. So now we have Gizelle in a furniture store. And, I always say, what the fuck is Gizelle wearing? Now, I don't mind this outfit, but the accessories is killing me. Like this purse with all the stones on it. You have these glasses or whatever and those tacky earrings. She just never gets it right. Never. Wait, did she just say she has decor style? Gizelle. You know what? Let's just move on. So Robin is joining her, and then, her plot line. She's talking about getting a house with Juan. She's saying that, she doesn't feel comfortable getting a new house and not being married. Now, on one end, I can see that. If you're not really committed and serious, then why are we getting a house together, But on the other hand, I'm thinking, okay, well, marriages aren't really traditional these days at all. Some people just don't want to get married, but maybe they just want financial security. So, maybe Robin wants financial security on her assets. So, yeah, I don't know. Because, there's some people that just don't get married and they're just in the same house. But you know what? I get it. Robin is traditional. So then Robin is filling in Gizelle on what happened when she left Monique's lake house early. And how she was just so mad at Candice and her, actually. Now they're discussing Ashley's situation and why Michael continues to embarrass her in front of these women and the public. Now, this is a good point Gizelle brings up. Even though, how I feel about Gizelle, she brings up a good point. That whole meeting they did at Monique's lake house, away from the ladies, if it wasn't for them, Ashley would have been blindsided, okay? So I don't get what was the point of Monique being so mad at Candice specifically. I thought Candice did it in the right way, either way, Ashley was going to have to deal with Michael being in the strip club. So it was great that she got a heads up. And Candice did it the right way, no matter how annoying you think she is. So now we see Gizelle's gonna plan a little winery trip for the ladies, and she was just like, yeah, there's no way they can, act the fool there, foreshadowing. So yeah, they're planning on doing that. So now we're with Wendy and her fine husband. She's bringing her son to the karate class, and this is nice and all, but I'm gonna fast forward through this. Oh, there is one point in this scene that was a little important to Wendy's character development. She was talking about not being fulfilled in her career as an instructor at a prestigious university, and she's talking about all the pressures Nigerians go to, okay, either doctor or lawyer, pick one, and just looking at that, we see why she holds all these accomplishments in such high regard, because clearly you're on this show because you're not fulfilled with what you're doing now. You're on TV, doing the commentating because you like that more than being in the classroom. So yeah. So next we're with Monique and Chris, and they're having a little walk with their baby, and Monique is talking about how her Not for Lazy Moms company is doing to Chris. And I'm guessing she's talking about how a financial risk it's becoming, and Chris is telling her some, accurate information. Why don't you he says, why don't you cut down on your spending in other areas and parties and, spending and focus on the company? And Monique doesn't want to hear that. So then he asks her, well, how much money have you put into this company? $200,000. And I bet that she has not seen not nan return on that 200 grand, and that's a lot to put into a company of, I'm guessing, what's her specialty? Advice and then non-vaccine oils and shit like that. I don't know, Monique, that sounds like a little money pit. And for a podcast, we have Pop Roast, and it don't cost us nearly a thing to do our podcast, so I'm not sure what money she's putting into that. So Chris hints at, maybe you just need to shut it all down. She's like, nope, I'm not doing that. And then they get to talking about Candice, and Candice indeed, I thought she would, drop out of Monique's live podcast. I'm like, really, Monique, what did you expect? So now she's complaining about, well, now I gotta change the flyers, and that's gonna be another $100, couple $100 and shit like that. But, she should not be surprised at all by that. And honestly, I think the animosity between these two is really overblown. Really, what is the issue? Is it Charisse? Is that why? Because Charisse is the one you should be mad at. Just because she became friends with her, I still don't get it, because Ashley invited Charisse to the baby shower, and you're not mad at Ashley, even if she did give you a heads up. Candice apologized and tried to move forward. So I don't know. This is really turning Monique into the villain for me, because their argument, going back and forth like that, and it's just not that big a deal. So we open this scene with Robin visiting her parents, and the only thing I got from this scene was she was talking about marrying Juan, and it looks like her mom is fully on board, but then her dad is like, oh, well, you might want to be careful this time around, just, be careful. Yeah, fast forward. Next, we have a scene with Ashley, her mom, and her little sister. All I got from this scene was, her mom is still side-eyeing Michael, and she doesn't trust him. Yeah, fast forward. And we're finally at the winery. Thank God. Now, I knew they wasn't going to show the fight to the very, very last 5 minutes. And even then, we're not going to see not Nan fist to the face. Fist to the face? Yeah. So it's fine, but finally we're at the winery at least. Now all the ladies are arriving, and I see Gizelle. What the fuck is she wearing? Now when I first saw this hat on her head, it said Gucci, Gucci. Now, when I think of Gizelle, I think of bad fashions, and, fake fashions wouldn't be, so far-fetched. So yeah, I did look it up, y'all, and let me just read it to you, because it actually is real Gucci. So they're saying it's not a fake and not a spelling mistake either, but the medieval spelling of the brand and a riff on the knockoffs that are sold all around the globe. So this is more so like a tongue-in-cheek and whimsical type of Gucci apparel. I did look it up, and that hat is $346. So it's real. It's tacky looking, but it's real. So they're all waiting on Ashley to arrive, and Lord, I'm guessing this event is to congratulate Gizelle on her paid literary award. So now Ashley arrives, and immediately she's in the hot seat, and she's explaining the headlines to the ladies, all cool, calm, collected. She's going through the play-by-play of saying, yeah, it is true, he did take a hooker home, but he did not do anything in the hotel. He just passed out drunk. None of the ladies believe that but Ashley. And then she drops the bomb on the ladies that, her and Michael don't have the most traditional marriage, and they've introduced some women into the marriage. She then drops the bomb on the ladies that other people have been involved in their marriage in the past. And one of them was one of the women that she introduced to the marriage. And she was saying that, basically it would be threesomes. And I'm thinking the ladies are a little just shocked that she admitted it, but no one is surprised, especially Karen. Karen says she is not surprised at all. And honestly, I want to know, how many women have been introduced into this marriage? And has there been any men introduced in this marriage? Of course, we won't know this. So now we get to the Candice and Monique fight. We get to the first 5 minutes of it, because I was trying to wonder, how did this go left? Who initiated the first contact? Whose fault is it? So it was all peachy keen. Everyone was getting along. And then really, Candice said, I love you guys. And then Ashley, she was the one that started it. So she asked Candice, oh, so you're good with everyone. How are you two doing with Monique? And that's how it started. So then Candice, they're going back and forth a little bit. But Candice brings up to the group, oh yeah, I was leaving and Monique was just fake sleep. She didn't want to tell me anything. And Monique counters back with child shaming, saying oh, well, you don't have kids, so you wouldn't understand. And any way you spin that, it's shade, okay? It's shade. It's shade that she doesn't have kids yet, and she probably, won't know what it's like because you ain't a mom. That's a jab. Let's be honest. So now it's really going back and forth. So then we see Candice with the wine in her hand, and then we see her with a knife too. What is it with her holding knives? Thank you, Wendy, for snatching that knife out of her hand. And then Wendy tries to go for the glass, but Candice I'm fine, I can hold my wine. Okay, fine. She has the wine in her hand. And clearly, this argument is clearly over something bigger. And of course, it's over the whole Charisse thing. We get the flashback with Ashley and Gizelle talking. And it's still unnecessary, I think. So then we see Ashley goes to the bathroom as the shit is escalating. And Candice is being extra, like Kenya Moore. She's spinning around. She's like, I'm bored. Bye, honey. Bye, honey. And then it's good night. And then first it started with the hands in the face. So Monique did warn her, get your hands out my face. So Candice is like, oh, well, what you gonna do? You gonna drag me? Now, even if Candice is saying drag me, that don't mean Monique got to. So then Monique starts touching her hair. And then we get the touching, and then that's when everything goes black to be continued. Monique! Blah! And you hear shit breaking and everything. Okay. So we gotta wait till next week, y'all. I can't wait. That was the end of the episode. So yeah, let's talk about the fight. Now, I gotta say, first, there was an article with Candice's husband, Chris, talking about the fight. And I gotta say, everything Chris said about the fight was true. So go back and look at it, y'all. Google Candice's husband talking about the fight. Word for word, that is what happened. So who do I think started the fight? I think they both need to take accountability for it, because Monique could have walked away. Candice could have walked away like she always did in order for it to not escalate. But there was hands in the face, but there wasn't contact on Candice's end. Now, Monique, you shouldn't have touched her hair like that. You shouldn't have did it. Like, you really should have not, because then that's what made Candice push your hand away and push you, and you were looking to swing. You were looking to swing. Like, Monique wanted to beat her ass. Let's just be honest, okay? And she did. Now, and even if Candice is annoying, Monique kind of like was the aggressor in this situation. And I don't think it was like a Portia Kenya. Kenya had it coming. Kenya had it coming. But with this one, I think that both ladies were at fault for this. And I think Monique was the initial aggressor in the fight, if we're being technical. But yeah, I'll save my opinion on this for next week when we actually see the fight. So yeah, join me next week. And, like, comment, and subscribe. Follow me on Instagram, Cdiggi1. Follow me on Twitter for, all my thoughts on shit, on anything, Cdiggi1. I have another video coming out for Antebellum and the Emmys. I'm going to put that together. And then I'll have a live show later in the week. So yeah, I will see y'all later. Thanks for watching. Bye.